May. They say June here, but it's May, and that is on May the 2nd. So today you can see it is 28th of April already. So you must be aware. So this shows that there are no changes to the syllabus ever since 2002, and that you can solve question papers starting off from 2002, but 2001 does not match the syllabus. Okay, 2002 to 2018. So these are the number of question papers you can solve. So this batch is very lucky. The next batch is gonna be very unlucky because in 2020 there's gonna be a major change where they remove mechanics 2. We'll talk about that some other day. And of course, let's go on. All the copyrights, the contents. Okay, these are always all the same. You must know all of this introduction, this, that, and then we're gonna start off from here. This is all just unnecessary stuff. This is about teachers, and this is all about recognition and what you already know. So like you must know about this before you even take A level, right? That is the reason why you took A levels, right? So let's go to assessment at a glance. Increase the zoom. So there are 7 units. Next year there will be only 6. But let's talk about right now. Let's stay in the present moment. Pure mathematics are units P1, P2, P3. Mechanics units M1, M2. These are the code names. These are there on the question paper. This is not just unofficial names. Centers and candidates may take all 4 A-level components in the same exam series for the full International A-level. Follow a staged assessment route to the Cambridge International A-level by taking 2 advanced subsidiary papers, P1 and M1 or P1 and S1 in the earlier exam series. Take the AS qualifications only. So this is all about which exams you need to take for what qualification. That one you can decide. Like some people don't like mechanics 2. Remember, you can't write mechanics 2 unless you write mechanics 1. So just don't go for pure maths 1 and mechanics 2 because you like mechanics. I like mechanics and statistics, so I'm pure maths. I like all the maths, you must say. And so I'm just doing what my institute told me to do. That's all. What my teachers do. That's all. As per me, they are doing the best because I took 3 of AS. This is this is the best system. You take pure maths 1, which is compulsory, and then you take statistics for AS. Then my AS is done, and for A level or for the full A level, then I've taken this one, right? Pure maths 1 and statistics 1, right? And now I just take pure maths 3 and mechanics 1. Okay, so I've taken all 4 of these papers. I must take the one with the 1 there. What does the 1 mean? The 1 here is small 1. 1 means that it is still on the basic level. So if we look at statistics too, it's highly complicated with all kinds of stuff in it, with all kinds of distribution. I know one is the Poisson distribution. It's very complicated. So it's also 1 hour 15 minutes. See, it's also 1 hour 15 minutes. But the thing is that this is much harder than this one. It's the same for pure maths 3. This is 1 hour 45 minutes. This is 1 hour 45 minutes. And this is the same as this one. But this one is much harder and includes this one. So it's basically pure maths 1 is a subset of pure maths 2 is a subset of pure maths 3. Okay, so if you want to know it in mathematical notation. Question papers. There's no choice of questions in any of the question papers, and questions will be arranged approximately in order of increasing mark allocations. It's expected that candidates will have a calculator with standard scientific functions available for use. So make sure you carry your calculator to the room. Do not go without your calculator. Computers, graphical calculators, and calculators capable of algebraic manipulation are not permitted. Computers are obvious. computers are one like I'm using right now. Graphical calculators are not that obvious. Graphical calculators means graph plotters. Like if you enter the equation, they'll plot out a graph for you and you just copy it on the exam paper. That is perfect cheating. And calculators capable of algebraic manipulation. What does algebraic manipulation mean? Have you noticed one thing on a calculator? Whenever it gives you an answer, it is almost always, no, not almost, it's always 100% of the times numerical. So as long as you get a numerical data, they have no problem. But if you can get something like 3x plus 2, so let's say they ask you to simplify 5x plus 2 minus 2x. So if your calculator can do such kind of stuff, then your calculator may not be accepted at all. Okay, so the safest is FX570 MS. Almost everyone loves that calculator. It may not be the latest thing, it may not be the lightest thing, neither it may be the most beautiful thing, but it gets the job done. It's not on the brink of being terminated by Cambridge. It's not on the brink of being said no. So it's a very safe calculator. But if you get one of those natural VPAM calculators, those are on the brink of extinction by Cambridge. So be sure to get those FX570 MS ASAP because your exam starts in another 3 days. P2, M2, and S2 are sequential to this, and the later unit in each subject area may not be used for certification unless the corresponding earlier unit is being or already has been used. Means you cannot take P2 unless you take P1, M2 unless you take M1, S2 unless you take S1. And they say they are sequential, so it's just a continuation of P1. Unit P3 is also sequential to Unit P1 and may not be used for certification unless P1 is being or already has been used. The subject content of P2 is a subset of the subject content of P3, means that the P3 includes P2 and you cannot take P3 or P2 or anything unless you take P1. So P1 is the most important. As pure maths 1 is most important. The syllabus is examined in June and November series. The syllabus is available for exam in March for India only. This syllabus is available to private candidates. What does this mean? I was a private candidate until last year, so I know. So private candidates means you don't pay the school fee. That's because the school doesn't accept you or you're not old enough. So I wasn't old enough last year to enter my IGCSE, so I just took it as a private candidate. I'm pleased to say I got very nice grades, so I'm able to enter A level now. Combining this, candidates can combine this syllabus with any examination series with any other Cambridge syllabus except for this. So they want to make sure that you are not learning the same stuff. Like if I take mathematics, pure maths 1, and right now they're not similar topics. For mathematics, actually, they're not similar syllabi, but for physics, IGCSE, I remember there's a 9-to-1 and so on. Because there's a 9-to-1 version of the physics syllabus and so on. But if you take the 9-to-1 syllabus, you can't take the physics, the 0625. Or if you take the 0625, you can't take the 9-to-1. Why? Because 9-to-1 includes 0625 includes what is there in the 9-to-1, and so what's the problem? And so they want to make sure that you're not learning the same thing, but you are learning different things, and you're learning different things. Why is this required? Let's say I learn English literature, all English related subjects. I'm doomed to end up nowhere. They will say the further education, the institute will say that you don't have any other certificates except for English, so we can't let you enter. Let's say I'll take all mathematics subjects: international mathematics, additional mathematics, normal mathematics, further mathematics, and so on. Let's say you're just mathematics person. Don't come in here. So they will not accept me. So I will have to take in all kinds of subjects. So I did take that. So syllabus aims. So syllabus aims are just simple. You can read through them. And yeah, the link is in the description below for the the syllabus, the ones of the syllabus. The syllabus is in the link in the description below. You can, or if you don't want, yeah, you can get the syllabus from there, from my Google Drive, and you can also get the syllabus from the Cambridge website. So if you've downloaded already, you can just look through it. You can just read through all of this part. These are all syllabus contents. Okay, so this is only for AS. I'm just gonna discuss pure maths 1 and statistics 1. I'm not gonna discuss anything else. So for all those people who take statistics, who take anything other than pure maths 1 and statistics 1, you'll have to download the syllabus from the link given in the description below, as mentioned before, and look through them yourself. Okay, so quadratics: carry out the process of completing the square and use this form to locate the vertex of the graph or to sketch the graph. Basically means that you must know how to complete the square, and must know how to sketch the graph, and must know how to find the vertex from the completed square form. Find the discriminant of a quadratic polynomial and use the discriminant to describe the number of real roots of the equation. Find the discriminant, repeating, of the quadratic polynomial. Discriminant means delta, which is b squared minus 4ac. To determine the number of real roots, you must remember b squared minus 4ac greater than 0, 2 different real roots. Less than 0, no real roots. Equal to 0, 1 repeated real root. Okay, you must remember that. Solve quadratic equations and linear and quadratic equations, linear and quadratic inequalities, in one unknown. So you have one unknown. So linear equations that have one unknown, you must be knowing how to solve. Solve for substitutions a pair of simultaneous equations which has of which one is linear and one is quadratic. So let's say they give you one linear equation, one quadratic equation. You must know how to solve. Recognize and solve functions in x. So you must realize this is a quadratic equation in x squared. So if you use the quadratic formula, instead of writing x equal to dot dot dot, you just write x to the power of 2, which is x squared, is equal to dot dot dot. Okay, you must look through your textbook and your notes. So if you want the textbook, just send an email to me on here. So you just send an email to me here, and then I'll respond. I'll get back to you. Okay, so functions. Understand these terms: function, domain, range, one-to-one function, and inverse function, composition of functions, so on. Coordinate geometry. So find the length, gradient, midpoint of the line segment. This is all simple. Understand and use the relationships between the gradients of parallel and perpendicular lines. Interpret and use linear equations, particularly these forms. Understand the relationship between the graph and its associated algebraic equation. Use the relationship, and so on, blah blah blah. That's just obvious, right? That's what you learned way back in your IGCSEs. Okay. Understand the definition of a radian. and use the relationships between radians and degrees. They may ask you for this one, what is a radian, and what do you mean the relationship? The relationship is that pi radians is 180 degrees, that's all. Use the formulas S equal to r theta and A equal to half r squared theta. R is the radius and theta is the angle subtended. Note that the both of these formula are given in your formula list under your trigonometry section. Sketch and use graphs of the cosine, and tangent functions for angles of any size and using either degrees or radians. Basically, you must be able to draw the graph to solve. That's all. 3 sine x plus 4, 5 sine x plus 3, 5 tan x plus 20, and so on. Use the exact values of the sine, cosine, and tangent of 30, 45, 60, and related angles like cos 150 is, you must know this, negative 3 over 2. Use the notation sine inverse of x, cos inverse of x, tan inverse of x to denote the principal values of the inverse trigonometric. Use the identities. There are only 2 identities for you at AS. There are only 2 identities. There are not more than 2. Not more than 2. So in your data booklet or your formula list, there are more than 2. Obviously, there are about 7, 8, 9. Can anyone count them and put them in the comments below? So there are all these entities given. Definitely more than 2, but you only use 2 at your level. Find all the solutions. Remember, this does not just include just taking it directly. You must know sine squared theta is 1 minus cos squared theta, cos squared theta is 1 minus sine squared theta, sine theta is equal to cos theta, tan theta, and so on. Okay. Use standard notation for vectors, which is this one. This is 2D, this is 3D, and these are plots. That's all. Carry addition and subtraction, multiplication of a vector by a scalar. Interpret this operation in geometrical terms. So must be able to multiply by a number here, like n, k, xy, n, xyz, and so on. Calculate unit vectors, which is just AB with this one on top, with the whatever. You can just go and decide. Look at your textbook. Calculate the magnitude, square of x squared plus y squared, square of x squared plus y squared plus z squared. Use the scalar product to determine the angle between 2 directions and use to solve problems concerning perpendicularity of vectors. If 2 vectors are perpendicular, their scalar product would be 0. Okay, so if I open the formula list, the MF9, so that's the official name for the list. So both of them are given here, and there you can see there are more than 1 identities, and the part is given here. Which one is it? No. Yeah, so this is if A and B are vectors. So you see, if A is this and B is this, so the modulus here means the magnitude. So this is the scalar product. This is your differentiation and integration, of course. This is the chain rule. This is the multiplication rule, the logarithm rule, and so on, so on. This is just differentiation and integration. Don't learn a lot of this in your AS. You'll only learn a few. These are the remaining part are for A, the full thing. Okay. Series. Use the expansion. Series means that the binomial theorem, but the notations n, cr, and n factorial must be known. So you must know what's a factorial. Recognize arithmetic and geometric progressions. Use the formula for the nth term and the sum of the first n terms to solve problems involving arithmetic or geometric progression. Is the condition for the convergence. To calculate sum of infinity, you must know sum to infinity, not sum to infinity of a convergent. You can note that you can only calculate sum of infinity for a convergent geometric series. is given on the data booklet modulus of r, which means the common ratio must be in between -1 to 1, not equal to 1, but you cannot be equal to 1 or -1. Okay. Differentiation. So you need to know all of these notations. Is a first derivative, second derivative, first derivative, second derivative. The technique of differentiation from first principles is not required. So this is something you will not learn in your AS. Use the derivative of x to the power of n for anything together with constant multiples. So if you have something multiplying here, you have something added here, you have something minus here, you have f of x, and you have composite functions using the chain rule. Apply differentiation to gradients, tangents, and normals, increasing and decreasing function rates of change, including connected rates of change. So that's again using chain rule. Locate stationary points. Use the information about stationary points in sketching graphs. The ability to distinguish between maximum and minimum points is required, but identifying points of inflection is not included. You must know what's points of you must not know what's points of inflection, but if you want to know, just Google it. That's all. Understand integration as a reverse process of differentiation and integrate any of this for any rational element except for -1. Why not -1? Because in the end you need to divide, right? You need to divide by n plus 1. So if you've got n is -1, -1 plus 1 gives you 0. So you will divide by 0 gives you undefined values, right? So that has to be wrong. So it is using logarithm, which is not covered in your AS. Solve problems involving the evaluation of a constant of integration. Remember, you integrate, you have plus c plus k plus a plus b, whatever. Evaluate definite integrals using simple cases of improper integrals using this one. Use definite integration to find the area of region, the volume of revolution. That's all. So pure maths 2, this is not, I'm not gonna say this out loud. This is not this as well. Mechanics, no. You have to read through all of this yourself. I'm gonna paste the link in the description below. Just go and access and just read it. Okay, probability and statistics. Candidates should be able to select a suitable way of presenting raw statistical data and discuss advantages. Means you must be able to draw stem and leaf diagrams, box and whisker plots, which means box plot, histogram, cumulative frequency graphs. Understand and use different measures of central tendency, mean, median, mode, and variation, range, interquartile range, standard deviation in comparing and contrasting sets of data. Use a cumulative frequency graph to estimate the median value. Calculate the mean and standard deviation. This is the very important part. This is the hardest part. You must have a lot of common sense for this one. So this is the hardest part. So permutations and combinations. How many ways can you arrange? How many people can be chosen? What are the different arrangements? And so on. Probability. Evaluate probability in simple cases by enumeration of equiprobable elementary events. Basically means that you must be able to calculate the total score, the total expected score, and so on using probability. Use addition and multiplication as appropriate, and so on. The normal distribution. Understand the use of a normal distribution. Solve problems concerning a variable x, including this. Recall conditions under which the normal distribution can be used to use an approximation out to the binomial distribution. You must have finished your syllabus already. In case you haven't, then you're in deep trouble. Because if you haven't finished your syllabus yet, then I'd say it's not possible to finish it now. Then when will you get time for past papers? So if you haven't finished yet and yet can guarantee yourself a nice grade in the subject, write down in the comments below how you did the job, and then we'll put it online for everyone to see, and then make a video of it and about how the method can be used by everyone to do last minute revision or so on. Okay, so it's 28th April 29th, 30th, 1st, 2nd. So there are only 4 days left. So, and your exam is on the 2nd of May, which is a Thursday, and more accurately is in the morning. So you don't count that day at all. So you have 3 days left, but including today, you have 4 days left. Yeah, you have 4 days. So this is probabilities and statistics too. I know the first chapter was a Poisson distribution. This is a very nice but very scary chapter. This is the list of formula. This is the formula list. So you must have one already. If you don't have one, then a copy of the formula list is also there in the syllabus. So you must print it out when doing your past papers, or you can just view it on your electronic devices. So if you don't have, I'm going to share this file with you using the same using Google Drive. Okay. Probability and statistics. So these are all data. This is data for a normal distribution. So this is all notation. So you must know all of this notation. It's very often they do not use this notation at all. Yeah, they use this one. So I'm just gonna highlight which ones they use quite often. No. They don't use any of these. So the most common is this one. So note that I'm just doing for the AS. So yeah. So note that I'm just doing for the AS. So if anything else is included in the for the A2 but not the AS, and I still see this notation in your A2, let me know, and I'm gonna put it down in my next video, which I make for A2. So they do use all of these. So you don't need to know what does that plus mean, but it has to be common knowledge from your IGCSEs or secondary education. Yeah, these are another set of notations for functions. The nth derivative. It stops here. So you see, they may give you a lot of notations. None of these are used for the exponential. Logarithmic function, don't even have it for your pure maths. Sine, cos, tan, cosec. And just have these 6 of these functions. You can see there are more than 6, there are 12 functions. But however, these are complex numbers. No, you don't have this. No, you don't have matrices. Yeah. Only these you don't have the vector product. Probability and statistics. Yeah, you do have these. E of x, variance of x, population mean, sample mean, So phi all this. Okay, these are all normal distribution stuff. So equality and inclusion. So basically means that what things are done. So the syllabus and associated assessment materials basically means that you need to write the whole thing in English. You cannot just write it in any language you like. Cambridge International A level results are shown by one of the grades, indicating the standard achieved, A star being the highest and E the lowest. Ungraded indicates that the candidate's performance fell short of the standard required for grade E. Basically means that if you have if you have U on your question paper, means that you didn't pass at all. Means you didn't even meet the requirement for the E. The results Q means that the result is pending, means they haven't marked your paper yet. X, which means no result. What does this mean? X means no result, means you did some kind of dishonor during the exam, including you cheated or including someone cheated. They will not get their results, right? Or if they didn't attend the exam at all, they will not get their results. So it's X. Y, to be issued, means that they haven't marked your paper yet. To be issued means they haven't marked your paper yet. Then what's the difference between Q and Y? Q and Y means Q means that the result is pending, means they either didn't receive the results themselves, the question papers themselves, or and so on, the other things. Y means that yet they no. Q means that they haven't marked yet. They don't have the data themselves. Y means that they still have to look through the question paper, means they notice some kind of suspicious activity in the question paper and they need to look at it before they give it to you. Cambridge International AS level results are being shown by the small letters. Okay, this may appear on the statement of results, which you view online on your computer, but not the certificate. The certificate will comprise of a proper grade. X, no result means you need to write it again. They will just not mention the subject in your certificate. Q, they will just not mention it in your certificate. They will give it the next time when you get your certificate for next time for your A2. If you get a Q for your A2, it means that you need to wait for some time, about 5 to 6 months before you get your certificate. If a candidate takes a A level and fails to achieve grade E or higher, a Cambridge International AS level grades is the following apply. So this is the relationship between A level and AS. Entry option codes. So you must know that there are administrative zones. So you have paper 1, you have variant 1, 2, 3, right? So all those here is when all those variants come in. So the first digit is the component number, which shows your paper number, paper 1, 2, 3, and the second digit is the location code, which depends on your location, which depends on your school. So that is the end of the syllabus. So you must notice that the syllabus is very detailed and it took me a lot of time to explain. So you should probably look through the syllabus too. I'll link in the description below for the syllabus and the list of formula. Both of these are very important. You must know that you are allowed to take this list into the exam room. This is permitted by the question paper. Okay. So see you in the next video.